Hey YouTube, what's going on? Lionheart here, and in today's video we're going to cover a crystal mining route that you can run every 3 days that will give you over 160 crystals, which you can use to craft weapons. You can use them to craft XP materials, and that's the main reason we run it. Or you can just look at them and collect them because, I don't know, maybe that's what you're into. Anyway, I want to go through the different steps. Right at the start, let me let you guys know that there is a map available with this video. It's in the description below. It's pretty high resolution, so you're going to want to download that and open it up on your local computer and not view it through Imgur. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard to see the paths and the numbering. So just trust me, we just wanted to make one image. I recommend downloading it, and I think that'll be the easiest way to use it. Anyway, why does this matter? Why is this important? Well, first, there is a daily cap. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you go to your forge, there's a daily cap of 300,000 weapon XP that you can craft at the forge each day, and at least this version of the game. Maybe that will change in future versions. If you're watching this in the future, I can't say if that's still true or not. But anyway, if you're like me, you have a lot of weapons you want to level up and probably not enough experience or more to do it. While this video is not focused on the more component, it does tell you how you can get enough experience and really min-max your daily gain as long as you're not crafting weapons. If you're crafting weapons, it just means you need to run this more times with more people. That's the only difference. So it can be done solo. Again, the respawn time for the route is 3 days, and the route narrowly focuses on crystals. So if you see us running past other things you can mine, don't go too crazy. Just the reason is that we're focusing on the crystals. Also, I think I missed picking up 1 or 2 crystals, so sorry about that. Anyways, I think this is most optimal to run with 2 players. You can find people on community discords or the subreddit, and just kind of try to stay on a pretty strict 3-day regimen. And you don't need to run these all on the same day, right? You can stagger your days so that you're only running it once a day per player server, right? But the respawn time, like if you do it on your server, the respawn time for your server will be 3 days, right? So you could do it on your server, now go to Tony's server, right? Do it once there, and now go to Jill's server and do it once there. And then the next day when you guys are all ready to do it again, it should be back on your server. You go back to your server and you cycle it. That's what I mean when I tell you to do it with other players, okay? Couple of things that you should know. The map shows you crystal chunks in light blue. It tells you the number of crystal chunks that are available, but it doesn't tell you how many will drop. So what I mean by that is there'll be a crystal spawned mining point. You'll break it. That point may drop you 1 crystal chunk. It may also drop you 2 crystal chunks. And as far as I can tell, the number seems to be a random variable. It's not fixed. So you may have some days where you get really great mining. You may have some days where you get not so great mining, but it should even out over time, and hopefully you get really, really lucky. There's also probably still some room to farther optimize this route, but I think it's pretty good, and it does involve a lot of teleporting around. We have 25 different teleport points, some of which you'll use multiple times to run multiple routes. So if you look at the map and you see like a red path and a yellow path and an orange path, what that means is just that when you get to the end of that path, you simply teleport back to the same starting location and run one of the other paths. And this is set up this way to try and, again, make it efficient and respect your time. A few more added notes. I don't want anyone to think that this video is representative of Klee's power. Klee was not built up in this video. We were just playing her for fun. We have another video coming out in the near future that will showcase her build, and I think that, you know, we're probably at least twice as strong as we are in this video in the full build. So it's pretty exciting, and I look forward to sharing that with you. Also, you'll notice the co-op netcode is a little buggy. You may see me get lost trying to find Oreo. You may see him teleporting around and other weird things. So I apologize for that. And then also on the map that you're going to use and download from Imgur, this is the only high resolution version I could find, but I did notice as I was marking it up that there are some terrain differences between that map and the map you have in game. My guess is the map I found was just from an earlier version of closed beta, and so they have worked on the map obviously since then. I still think it's good enough that you'll be able to find where you are. But again, if you get lost, hopefully you can just use this video. Last but definitely not least, big shout out to Oreo. This is Oreo's mining route. I did not come up with this, Oreo did. And he was gracious enough to share it with us. He said that we should make a video about it to share it with all of you. And so he deserves a huge shout out in all of your respect. Oreo is the person that I'm trading back and forth with in terms of #1. I think he's #1 right now on global for pushing AR rank. But yeah, I mean, he's been awesome. He's grouped with us in lots of content. And every now and then we get like a day or two where we're the only ones at that world rank. And so we're just stuck together on an island. And it's cool because he's awesome to play with. He's a very good player. He's got great builds. And so if you ever want to chat with Oreo, come by our live stream and connect with him. He's usually there most evenings. And if not, just leave a comment for him below. Hopefully he'll check the video and stuff like that. But he's a great guy. So yeah, all right. That's enough talking. That's like 6 minutes of talking. Let's dive into the mining route. Yeah? Let me load everything up and let's get started. All right. Here we go. So, what up, Oreo? This conversation's actually not happening in real time. We recorded this video a couple of days back, so that way we would have it after waiting for everything to respawn in our world and get on the same rotation, right? Remember when I was talking to you earlier, I was mentioning that the respawn time on this mining route is 3 days. And so the general idea was, hey, let's leave my server alone for 3 days, make sure that everything that's supposed to be there is there, and then we can go ahead and record this video. So this was actually a few days ago now, but you can see all the different mining spots that we're collecting. The first one here is in Stormterror's Lair. That's where we start, up in Mondstadt. And you can see that through most of the video, I'll be following Oreo and trying to keep an eye on him as almost an observer and letting him break all the materials. So that way you can see exactly where the mining spots are and exactly how to get to them. So hopefully this camera perspective is helpful. We thought it would be if one of us breaks and one of us trails, but you know, obviously during the course of the video, because of how co-op works, Oreo will get away from me sometimes. You can follow my character probably for movement, despite the few mistakes that I'll make as we go along, and look at Oreo's character for crystals. When I see crystals, if I'm not totally sure that you see them, you may find that I move my cursor in a circular motion around the crystals, and that should help highlight where their spawning location is. Okay? Also, one note to make from earlier, I did mention in the opening of the video that when you reach a crystal mining spot, oh look, hey, there's an instance where the netcode actually went crazy and Oreo disappeared. And then he reappears on the correct location and I go and try to find him. Anyway, to continue my previous thought, one of the things I mentioned a little earlier in the video was that mining spots, when you break them, you know, the amount of materials they drop is based on a random variable, right? And I think earlier when I mentioned it, I had said 1 to 2. But actually, when we were playing on stream moments ago, actually somebody claimed that I got 4 from a single drop. Now, I wasn't paying too much attention. I don't know if this is true, but definitely it seems like you can get quite a range of mining materials. So you may get a lot more than your friends, and you may get more or less than what we get in this video. Don't be surprised. Alright, cool. That's the end of the very first path, and now we move on to the second path. If you're following along on the map, these are numbered, and also in the video we'll add a table of contents. Here you can see that we're going to travel south, and I'm following Oreo pretty closely. You're going to stay up on higher elevation and make sure you don't drop down early. Once you see the crystals, you can go ahead and head down that way. Now this one's a little interesting. We dropped down here, but there was actually a ledge back to the right, and we'll mention it later in the video, that you can actually hit first. So on the map it draws us going back up the edge, and I'll explain to you when we get there why that might not be a good idea and you may want to drop down. It'll be your choice. For now, if you're following along, just stay with us. Don't deviate. It'll be easier, especially if you're in single player where you won't have any problems. So we're going to go ahead and get this second crystal location here, pick up our loot, and head back over. You can ignore these guys or fight them. It's your choice. If you need the materials, feel free to go ahead and hit them. And if you don't, you can do a little dance to avoid the machine gun later. Alright, when we come to the next crystal mining spot here, I want you to notice on my game that there's this wind blowing in the background. Normally, this spawns a wind current that you can rise. For whatever reason, this time, when we tried to do it, there was no wind current. It never spawned. So what we actually ended up having to do here was climb the wall to get the crystals that are up there. You can get the crystals that are up there at the beginning of the route and then drop down where we were originally, or you can go ahead and get them now. If you're in single player and that wind current's working for you, you should be able to just ride it all the way up to get them. If for whatever reason it's not working, because co-op bugs sometimes, and here clearly it wasn't working for us, then I would recommend maybe just starting here as opposed to you know, coming here and hoping that it's actually going to work. So you can see us just go ahead and run backwards and drop down onto the sledge, and the crystals are right here on the sledge. Yeah, so you could totally go there. I ran it the other way today where we started here and then dropped down. I actually thought it worked fine. And so, you know, again, if you're following along the video, it's easier to just follow us for the first time. The second time you run it, I think you can use the map and experiment more. And there's definitely some improvements that you can make along this route. I've already found 2 more mining spots that I'd like to add, but we're a little late on this video, and I do think that there's such a thing as enough, right, in terms of how much mining you gather, right? If you're getting at least 100 and I think it was 120, let me just think about that for a second. Yes, I think it's 120 crystals. That's the maximum you can spend per day on XP. So if you're only looking for weapon XP, 120 crystals a day will get you the max you can produce. And so basically you would run this route 3 times, right, on 3 different servers, and you would do that every 3 days. And then that way you would always be at daily max, right? Anything over that is for crafting weapons or just for goodwill, but you can't, you know, if you're not crafting weapons, you can't spend more than that, assuming you're keeping a regular cadence. So there are definitely like other mining locations on the map, but our general feeling was that this particular route will give you enough mining that you don't need to do anymore. So just trying to kind of optimize your time investment for a return on mining points. Although we have 1 or 2 spots in here that are pretty quick and one-offs. And honestly, what I would recommend is take a look at the map and kind of evaluate based on your own time schedule. We've broken it up in a way where, we being Oreo and I, we've broken it up in a way where you're able to look at the map and just decide for yourself, hey, is this worth it or not? The map's going to tell you exactly how many mining spots there are. And so, you know, if there's like a really fast, hey, I can go here and get 8 different crystal chunk mining spots, but here I'm only going to get 1 and it's farther away. Well, maybe you skip that one if you're pressed for time. But I think if you're developing a strong routine with at least 2 other players, you should try to hit every single spot on our map. And you should try to hit them together so that everybody's getting the maximum return on investment. All right, here we're going to go ahead and start the 3rd path. And over the last 1st and 2nd, you could have saw those were all in Storm Terror's lair. And of course, so is the 3rd path, still in Storm Terror's lair. You're going to go around over to the left side. You can drop down right away like Oreo did there. You don't have to float like I am. Mine is more to give you camera perspective. It is faster to just drop down, as you can see, and just run on over. Yeah, so we'll just head over this way. You're going to climb back up a little bit. Here I ran out of stamina. I actually ran out of stamina a few times during the recording of this video, so if you end up to like some spot, you're like, hey, what the hell is he doing? It's just because I didn't manage my stamina as well as I could have. Anyway, you can see this mining spot right here is against the wall. And it's kind of tucked back away, so make sure you're on the right elevation. There's a few different layers of elevation here. We dropped down and then we went up once. That was it. If you've gone up more than once, you're probably too high. Here we're going to go up another time for the next mining spot. And you can see it's just kind of tucked away right there behind that wind current in the open grass. After that's done, you're going to go up, and then you're actually going to head over and outward. See Oreo to my bottom left, floating down there? That's him. And you're going to follow all the way over there, and you can see this crystal is tucked right between where the bridge cracks. So you can go down, grab that crystal, and then go ahead and move on. You can swim across, you can fly across. They both work. And this next crystal is going to be kind of touching closer to the base of the layer. Gonna run a bit, and there it is. You can see it just kind of tucked away. Again, under one of those bridges. Alright, let's go to the next path. This is path number 4. Path number 4 is a quick one. There's only a single crystal mining location that you're going to visit. But it's really easy to get, and so we included it, right? Some of these, again, it's a little bit about speed. We want to make sure that for the time you invest, you get a good return. If there's a teleport, but it's just a teleport for one spot, but it's easy to do, there's no reason not to do it. Sometimes crystals roll downhill. Keep that in mind when you're breaking them, especially at higher elevation. And I'll call it out later. You'll notice that Oreo actually does a really good job of waiting for me before I come over at high elevation, so he doesn't break a crystal and send my loot rolling downhill. Alright, so this is number 5. And path number 5, as you can see on the map, is the first time where you're going to have 2 paths. There's going to be a red path, and there's going to be a yellow path. What this means is that we are going to come back to path number 5's teleport location multiple times in order to create maximum efficiency for collecting mining materials. So we're going to go through and take the 2 mining points that are along the red path here, and then we'll end up teleporting back to path number 5 to go ahead and do the yellow path where we run down and get the other 2 mining spots that are in the opposite direction. So there's a few locations like this on the map. Most of them are in Leeway, but this one is in Mondstadt. So I just want you to know that those exist, and when you see us kind of going back and forth and you're like, why is this line red but this line's yellow? It doesn't make any sense. The only reason was to distinguish that they're not the same path, right? What I wouldn't want you to do is teleport to 5, run all the way north, and then for some reason run back south to get the other path, right? That would be silly. It's just faster to teleport. And so this was the way we elected to communicate it to you on the map. So yeah, I hope that makes a lot of sense. The other thing I guess I should talk about is, in this video, we probably, in that instance, we killed the elite mob, but sometimes you'll see us run past the elite mobs. The only reason we're doing that is, when we do run past it in this video, is because we plan to go farm those later. But I think you can just go right ahead, and unless you're running a particular, like, farming route, you can go ahead and just, take care of those mobs, and obviously pick up, if it's your server, any kind of like ascension materials that you want. But yeah, there's no reason to like intentionally skip fighting unless you just feel like you don't want to fight for whatever reason. Maybe you just have very limited time and only want the mining materials. But I think you can go ahead and just engage. And you may even find that some of these mining routes work nicely into your current farming routes, whether you're doing a daily farm route like the one we published, which gives you a little bit of everything, or if you've moved on to doing something that's only focused on, bosses that can drop artifacts and ignoring pretty much everybody else, right? So I know some players are already at that point. So, all right, cool. This one that we're on is path number 6. This is an optional path. If you're going to skip one, this is the one I would say you can probably skip. It's a pretty long run for only 1 crystal mining spot. But we did it just because you get that one hilly trail there who has a chance at dropping artifacts, and so we just decided, hey, whatever, let's go ahead and get this one. And you could see even Oreo talking about it in the chat box below, right, where he goes that this one's not really worth it, but we do get a troll on the way. And so kind of the same thought I had was like, it's not worth it, but it's kind of worth it. If a purple artifact drops for fodder, it's kind of worth it. Anyway. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and teleport to the next location. And some crazy editing that happened there. I'm not sure why. We had like a weird like kind of teleportation moment on that. Sorry about that. Anyways, so this is the next path. And this is path number 7. 7 is really cool because it's like a big little fighting area, and it may look like 7's up top on a mountain, but it's not. It's actually below in a cavern. So you're going to end up going down into this cavern over here, and that's where your mining locations are. So if you're running around up top and you're like, hey, I don't see these. Where are these 4 locations? Yeah, they're actually below you. So make sure that you go down to get them. And you can fight, again, that elite hilly trail on the way. Sorry about that editing. I'm going to leave that in on the final video just because we're already recording the audio and it's pretty late. I want to make sure I get this video out to you guys. So sorry about that. All right, cool. Here we are on the next path. This is path number 8. And you're just going to go straight shot north and you'll see the crystals right there on the rock mound. This one I find, if people are actively playing their servers, is clear a lot of the time. Some of the ones that are like out in the open, again, along like farming routes, those things tend to be cleared out. And so, you know, what we did on my server and what I recommend for you if you're setting up a dedicated group is even if there's a little bit of waste up front, just let your server sit for 3 days without mining. And that way everything's up, and that way you don't have to worry about, are we wasting time by going here? And you can just go ahead and have a nice clean start with your group. If you're by yourself, you may also still want to do it just so that you only have to run this once every 3 days as opposed to, you know, kind of checking every day to see what's respawned. Or you could just run it one time and the things that aren't there, and then run it one time 3 days later, and that should solve the same problem. All right, you saw that one there. And that's the end of that route. Then we're going to go on to number 9. And number 9 is, again, a single straight shot. This time it's got 2 mining spots. And just like number 4, it's pretty easy to get to. So even though it may seem like it's not worth your time, I would say you should do it. It takes no time at all to just run over here. And there's a bunch of other materials nearby. If you're crafting weapons and looking for white iron chunk, this is a nice spot for that as well. All right. Let's move on down to Leeway. That's all of Mondstadt for our mining route. And we're going to head on over to Leeway for number 10. And number 10 is a little tricky as well. There's some elevation to this. So if you're looking for these, you need to climb up. From the teleporter, you're going to walk right up to this wall, and you're going to climb to the top of it. All the crystal mining spots you're looking for are up top. They're at high elevation. So if you're running around down low looking for these, you're never going to find them. The first ones are right here along this like waterfall-ish area. You're going to pick those up. And then you're going to run straight past the treasure hoarders. Again, you can fight them if you need the materials. Otherwise, ignore them. You're going to hop over to this little island that's kind of by itself. And you'll see that there's 4 mining points right over there. Next up, we're going to go to number 11, which is south. And number 11, just like the one we were talking about in Mondstadt earlier, number 5, has 2 paths. There are 2 times you're going to teleport to number 11 to try and find all of your crystal. Usually, we run the red path first, then the yellow path, and lastly, when we get to some of these 3-path ones, the orange path. But you can do it in any order you like. Look at all these enemies we could be fighting. It's good, I'm telling you. You may find you just get some of the materials you need just doing that, and then once you're maxed out, you just start ignoring them. You can see the crystal mining spots on the rock in front of me. Don't pay any attention to me looking backwards, you didn't need to do that. And that's the only spot on that part. Then we're going to go ahead and go back. And teleport outward for this one that's way out here. Again, singles, you could skip them. You could not. Oh, here's an area where Oreo actually wanted me to go ahead and collect. If you're not doing white artifact farming, you know, whites and greens for fodder, that's what those areas look like. And you can actually find, there's a really nice thread on the Genshin Impact subreddit, which I don't have the link to sadly, but I'm sure if you just search for artifact, like green-white artifact farming, you can find it. There's a really nice thread that shows you all the locations of that stuff in the world. Alright, so that was all of Path 11, and now we're moving on to Path 12. On Path 12, you're going to climb to get a little bit of elevation to launch yourself, because you're going to want to fly to where this location is. I just learned to climb yesterday, so you'll have to forgive me. You don't need to worry about looking backwards. It's so straightforward. See it down there? And there's another one, kitty corner of that. Alright, let's go ahead and teleport to number 13. Now number 13 is really, really good. Number 13 is probably the highest value location you can visit because it's got 8 different mining points and it's very close to a teleporter. You're going to go down here. These are just some additional white iron chunk that we're grabbing on the way. And don't worry about that little guy that fell off the cliff. We're going to catch that little guy at the end. You're going to head all the way down and you'll enter this cavern. And you can see there's all kinds of goods in this cavern. Core lapis, crystal mining points, white iron chunk. It's a really nice location. If you haven't been here already, this is someplace you definitely don't want to miss. And look at that! We even get a little Sonic the Hedgehog. And there he goes. Boy, Chongyun with the right build really hits hard. Remember guys, this is world level 6. Cool. One more crystal chunk right in the middle. And he's breaking the core lapis for me as well. Remember, if you're not the host, don't take the core lapis. Leave it for the host. Unless you have their permission. Remember I said we get that white iron chunk? Well, there it is. Easy. Alright. So after this, we're going to go ahead to our first triple path location, which is 14. 14 is complex. You may see some of the crystals that you want to grab when you're heading down that are part of the other paths. If you can, try not to grab those because you may confuse yourself and then end up looking for something later that, you know, isn't going to be there because you got it earlier. So make sure you're grabbing the right crystals here. It's really important. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem. Also, break these slowly. As you can see, Oreo is taking his time to break that. A lot of these crystals can roll down, and depending on the elevation, that can be a big problem for you. So make sure you're waiting for your friends to get there if you're playing this in co-op. Alright, so we got those. I'm not sure why I ran back there. Probably just wondering if I picked the last one up. And you're going to go ahead and jump down toward the path, heading north. And you can see the other crystal we're going to go for right there. You already know where you're going. If you don't see that crystal, you either got it or you're going the wrong way. And when I say got it, I mean like another day. Right. I'm going to go ahead and jump off in the direction of the Relentless Elemental. Don't go too far because there's one right below you that you want to make sure you grab. May get too excited seeing this Elemental. And then you can see already the one near the Elemental, which is the other one we want to pick up. Look at this thing go. Woo. We always kill these because every now and then we hope for a drop, but most of the time it's just Mora. You can go ahead and run past this if you don't want to kill. Some animation canceling. Must have been practicing. All right. Again, you're going to keep heading along the northern coast. You'll see this crystal right here. And then you're going to go up after you get that crystal. The next one you're looking for is up here. Just kidding. Down there. I had you. I had me. That's about how it went when I tried to lead the mining route, actually. I was like, yeah, I think it's up here. Oh, wait, no, it's all the way over here. You're going to take a left after you get that crystal. Glide on over to this one that's on a ledge. Pick it up, and you're staying at the same elevation. Then you're going to glide on over again. And this time, you're going to drop just below the bridge, but not all the way down. It's going to be in this little alcove over here. See it? Great. That's nice work. Now you're going to go ahead and teleport back to 14 again. And this time, rather than going north, you're going to go in the exact opposite direction. You're going to head south. Make sure you drop down and get this little crystal that's right here on the big mountain. If you drop too far down, you'll miss it, so keep an eye out for it. Look at all those balloons circling Oreo. Boy, Co-op has some funny glitches. Gonna drop all the way down, and you can see the crystal from here right below him. That's where he's going. From there, we'll continue to head down a similar kind of wrapping, basically a south little tail wrap, if you will. You'll be able to see things. So you'll jump off this ledge. You'll keep an eye out below you. There's the crystal. And we'll go ahead and drop down and grab that. And continue to wrap around. This next crystal will be by the fence. There, you can see it to the left. I'll go ahead and break that and then continue moving along the path. And at this point, you'll just go straight. You'll deviate from the path that was in the grass, but you'll continue following the path that's in your map. Let's go ahead and jump down, and you can see that this little one is tucked away in the crevice here, right off the edge of the cliff. So make sure anytime you jump off, really, truly, you're looking down. You don't want to miss things that are right below you along this route. Here we're going to do the same thing. Curve around this mountain. You don't have to land on that ledge. The crystals you're looking for are right below you. We'll take one more leap and run across this bridge. Jump down. And you'll see this one is tucked away in this little bush here. It's very hard to see. So I really strongly recommend you run across that bridge as we did so you don't miss it. Just follow our exact path. Alright. Let's go ahead and head back. This will be our last time hopping back to 14. The first time we went north along the red route. The second time we went south along the yellow route. And this time we're going around the orange route, which is a eastward path. You just drop pretty fast all the way down, and you can see where all these are. 4 crystals, they should be pretty obvious, right around where you saw all these frogs. You've probably been here for hidden chests already and are familiar with the area. If you're not, you should look up the area. There's quite a few chests that are hidden in this kind of unmarked mining frog areas. It's a nice spot. You'll go up and get that last one. Don't forget that last one. It's very easy because you'll drop down when you see all 4 of them, and then you'll get 3 and think you got them all, and you don't want to miss that last one. Alright. From here, a curve around the mountain. Behind this, you can see it if you're paying attention through a gliding. And you're going to go ahead and grab that one. And then continue to head along the wall, wrapping it. And you'll see there's one more at lower elevation. Nope, not that one. It's a little farther in. There's 3 different locations there that look almost the same. So make sure you don't stop at the first one. Don't stop at the second one. Go all the way through until you find it in the 3rd divot. You'll think you've collected it when you haven't. Now this one's a little debatable, whether you want to run back and grab this or not. I think it's okay to do. I'm going to mess up the drop here. You can see I don't have enough stamina, and I'm going to hit this poor ledge where you slide down. So it's going to look like more of a pain to get up here than it actually is. But if I hadn't slid down like I did, you would have just hopped onto this wall and climbed straight up, and you would have been at the next crystal. Instead, it's going to take us a little while because I made the mistake of sliding down. But yeah, basically you would just jump over here, land on this, and then as you can see, there's a crystal to the right. Yeah, see him? Yeah, just on this little ledge. So yeah, basically just make sure you have stamina when you get over there. Alright, let's move on to number 15. 15 is a very short one. You just TP over, run over here, and it'll be immediately there on your left. It's a super quick single that you're just going to grab. And the reason why we didn't connect 15 to the yellow route on 14 is because the yellow route ends at a much lower elevation. You'd waste so much time climbing, it wouldn't be worth it. Alright. Go ahead and start 16. So here in the video we had a small disconnect. Oreo was desynced. I don't know if I included the clip at the very end there, but basically his legs were rising above his head and all kind of other weird stuff. So we basically just said he should reconnect, and that hopefully would fix it. So yeah, if you ever have weird problems in your co-op or mining with friends, yeah, sometimes it's just as easy as just disconnecting and then rejoining. It resolves a lot of the problems. You can also try things like switching characters, and teleporting as well sometimes can resolve some of the issues. Alright, so you just climb all the way up here to the top of this. You can see there's a crystal chunk there. You're just going to grab it. And then you're going to jump right off and head down south. This is, again, number 16. We're following the red path first. You can fight these guys if you want. We like to fight, so you'll see we do. But it's not required. Although, I'll tell you, the ruin guards might be a little annoying if you don't fight them. They might just lock onto you with missiles and start shooting your direction. So yeah, that could be pretty pretty unfortunate. Anyways, we're going to climb on up. And at the top up here, we'll find a path toward our last crystal. Great. Now we're going to go ahead and teleport back. Right over to the original spot, again on 16. And this time, we're going to go ahead and travel a northwest route. This is the yellow route on number 16. Again, the ruin guards, they're optional. If they see you, probably good to fight them so they don't annoy you as you climb up. If they don't see you, well, you can just do what we did and run right by them. Your first mining spot is going to be at slightly higher elevation. It's going to climb this mountain, and you're pretty much going to take it all the way to the top. There it is. So not quite the tippy top. You can see there's still some elevation in front of us, but you climbed quite a ways to get there. From there, you get a nice launch point off. You're going to curve left around the mountain, and you're going to head to the next mountain you see in the distance. This mountain is also going to have a mining spot near the top. Just kidding. It's on the other side. No, I'm not kidding. It's near the top. Sorry. All these mountains, they start to look the same. Got it. Alright. Teleport back and we'll do 16 one more time. This time we're going to go ahead and follow the orange path, which means you're going to spike north and then immediately back south. See it? Right on the side of the mountain. It'll look like nothing's there when you're flying that way because it's blocked from vision. But once you land next to it, you'll be able to see it. From there, heading down. And you'll see it's right along the ridge line. Great. From there, we'll go ahead and start number 17. Remember, there are 25 total teleports in this route, some of which are used numerous times. And you're going to get a good amount of crystal chunk from doing this. Here, at 17, we fly straight south towards the large body of water, but you're going to stop before you get there. Here we're just grabbing core lapis. This is optional. You don't need to drop down here if you don't want to, but you can. It's always faster to run. The crystal is still a little bit farther south. You'll see as we come over this edge the location of the crystal. Great. That's it for 17. Now for 18. Again, these ones are a little quicker, but, you know, they're a lot less effort too. So they're worth including if you have the time. For 18, you're going to start running north. Kind of a slant to northeast. You'll see the crystals just waiting for you. These core lapis I stopped to get. And while I stop to get these, Oreo is actually going to end up breaking the crystal. So where he's standing is the location where it spawns. So you have these two core lapis, and then you come over here, you can see the crystals on the ground. And then right there where he's standing, that's where the crystal spawned. Right? Onward to 19. 19 is another fun one. 10 total mining spawn points here. Really good stuff for crystal. This is really, really good. On par with the 8 that we visited earlier. The 8 spots. Which was, if you're skipping around the video, path 13. So you can see in here, we're just going to go ahead and jump off and then cruise into this little like cavern. You look for the ladder and you'll know you're in the right place. 2 double Geo Mega Slimes, which I just get kind of excited about and just start throwing things at. But you actually can ignore them, and Oreo does. And he just proceeds to run around the room breaking things while I light a billion fires. But take my word for it, there are 6 different crystal chunk locations here. You want to get them all. And the last one is right underneath this platform here. See it? Don't forget to go under there and break that one. You should see it when you go to climb out, but if for whatever reason you miss it or somebody broke it and you didn't see they broke it, make sure that you run over there and yeah, just check the area. That was like live recording discipline 101. I held back a cough. Yeah, so you can see these other spots right here. There should be 4 spots here. Look at all the crystal chunk we got. Just tons of crystal chunk here and a core lapis as well. This is also right next to our farming route. Alright, let's move along to number 20. At 20, you're going to go ahead and do south with a slight to the west. And if you keep your eyes down, you can see the 3 crystals already by my health bar. Then we're going to move on to 21. And for 21, it's very similar. This one's directly south, and you're going to, again, just be able to hit 3 nice mining points. You go ahead and just go straight down. You're going to head to the river. On the map, it looks like you stop in the middle. Do not stop. Go all the way to the river, drop down to the river. These 3 mining points are below ground in this cavern where you're going to find an Abyss Mage. There's the Cryo Abyss Mage. You're going to see he's going to get melted, and then he's probably going to drown when he gets melted. Usually what happens. Yeah, he just falls through his ice and then drowns. And so you can go ahead and get that loot. There's some core lapis down here. There's also some white iron. You can take your time and figure out how you want to farm it. But anyway, remember, for Path 21, if you're up there and you're looking at the map and you're like, where are these? I don't see these. I can't find it. They're below ground. You need to fly all the way out to that river and come down into this cavern. And I'm repeating it in the middle of this in case somebody's skipping around the video and they're trying to figure out, hey, there's crystals here, but I don't see them. Where are they? Where are you? How did you get down here? How did you do this? Now you know. Alright. Now we're going to go ahead and go to number 22. 22 is a little interesting because we kind of messed it up in the video, so let me talk through what we're doing. The first part of 22 where there's 3 mining points is correct. You're going to see us go straight to it. It's right over here, right by where Oreo's standing, and you should come over here, and these are great, easy to get, right? You're going to drop down. There's a little Pyro Mage in here. A Pyro Abyss Mage, if I recall correctly. Yep. And then he's guarding these 3 crystal mining points. And then there's also a Not Dilute This Jade in here. So you're going to do this. And then what's going to happen is from here you would normally run to a cavern. You can see the line on our map. That's where you would go. You would basically go along the path, head south. You can honestly just run out to the path and follow the path. And there's a few elites that you're going to run across. You'll see like some big hilly trails out there, and I think there's also another Abyss Mage along the way. They're part of our extended mining route, but if you want to kill them after this, you can do that as well, right? So that's what you're going to do. And then you're going to end up in this cavern, right? The path leads underneath the ground. You can see it on the map to a cavern, and there's going to be 2 crystal spawning points inside the cavern. Here on the video, they're on my right, but if you run there from where we just were, they'll be on your left, not your right. And you can also fight the Fatui Assassin. So, yeah, sorry I didn't have the proper footage to record us running over there. As you can see, we just kind of teleported away, but yeah, make sure you get those. All right, on to 23. 23 is pretty easy and pretty quick. It's 2 groups of 3 spawn points, and they're right here. You're just going to jump off this ledge. Probably some people maybe miss the ones that are close because they're like really close. If you're like looking out in the distance, you wouldn't see them. And then the other 3 are going to be just to our, well, behind us now. You know, just turn around and you'll see them right over there, tucked in the corner. And then there's a hilly trail just chilling, looking off at Leeway. Sightseeing, if you will. You can go ahead and fight him as well. He's not on any of our routes, so if you want the extra farm. From here, we're going to go over to Guyon Stone Forest. And we're almost done. Guyon Stone Forest, you're going to teleport to 24, which is the normal teleport. And this one we also kind of did a little different in the video. So let me explain what to do afterwards. So first, you can see that the spawn point is right over there. I think Oreo wanted to go over here for this core lapis. And then got... I can't tell if he's actually over here or if it's the co-op desyncing. It's possible he just got turned around, but I think he wanted to show me the core lapis. And he's just going to run back to the mining points we ran past. Those are the only 2. So if you like are following the same path as us and you ran over here, you're like, what the hell? I'm sorry. But it's only these 2 that are over here. These are the ones you're going to grab. And then afterwards, there are two options. Your first option is you can go ahead and run the route. Sorry, I said two. There's 3 mining points there. Sorry about that mistake. So you're going to get all 3 of those mining points. So afterwards, you have 2 options. First, you can run the normal Guyan Stone Forest route, which I think most people know. You just run around in basically a C shape and fight everything you see. And that's great, and that's one way to do it. If you're in a rush, you can also teleport to the domain that's down here. And that's how we have it set up on the map. You teleport to the domain and simply run out to get the remaining mining points. In the video, we're not going to do that. You're going to see us run around. You're going to see us fight some of these enemies and not fight other enemies. There's really no logic or reason to why we did it this way, other than to just show you this as an option. Some corlapis, some birds, and other things you can collect if you're so inclined. But it's truly okay to just teleport to the domain for number 25. And so this is really, this section I guess is essentially 24 and 25 combined in a semi-inefficient manner. But at least you get to see some cool combat. So that's fun. So wild to think that like just a couple of days ago our Klee was hitting for these numbers and now hits for like significantly more than that. Really funny. Also, how long it takes to break a Pyro Abyss Mage's shield when you have no water characters, no hydro characters out. Takes a minute. Alright, so we'll pick up some of these things and we'll start running along the route again. I debated picking up the crab, but decided it had gone too far. Probably shouldn't have turned for it anyway. I will tell you, if you decide you're going to run the Guyan Stone Forest farm route while you get these mining points, the one constructive comment I'll give you, which we didn't do here, is you should run up and get the 3 Abyss Mages that are up top. If you don't know where those are, you can just look at my extended farm route video and skip. It's got a table of contents so you can easily time skip around, and just skip to Guyan Stone Forest and look for the part where we're fighting 3 Abyss Mages. They're basically up the mountaintop behind us, and yeah, you should definitely do that if you're going to use this as a enemy farming route in addition to farming for the mining materials. Anyway, so you can see that there's 2 crystals here, one that's kind of obvious on the side and one that's less obvious on the back. And then from here you're just going to go straight across past this boat and you'll take a left past the boat. Run around this and you'll see that there's a couple to the right, and there's also like deep right, don't miss the one deep right, and then there's some to the left as well. I think for a total of 3 here, 2 right here, and then 1 that's just kind of off by itself. Then afterwards, you could bring a cryo character to make this go a little faster. You don't have to, but you're essentially going to bridge yourself out to this island. And then we just jump and swim. Mona can make it like instantly. You got Mona, you'll just surf your way over there. But this island is basically the last spot along the mining route, and it contains a total of 6 mining spawn points. So it's a good one. It's a little inconvenient to get to, but it's worth it. There's also a bunch of Noctilucus Jade here as well. You'll see Oreo ignores those. I think he has too many. I still take them. You can also choose to fight the Geosonic if you want, or you can just try to convince him to drown himself. Alright, so you see all these ones along here, and then there was one over to the left. I don't know if you guys saw that. fact, I'm not even sure that we break it. Did we not break it? Oh, we totally didn't break it. Okay, well, there's one to the left back there that for some reason in this video we didn't break, but I promise you it was there. If you rewind the video, you will have seen it, and that's the 6th one. Make sure you grab that. Whoops. Whoopsies. A little mistake. Alright, guys, so yeah, that's it. That's the entire farming route. All of the mining locations in one go. And then here, just for fun, you can see Oreo and I in world level 6 fight the 4 rune guards, because why not? It's fun to fight them. And you could also just get an early preview for how D-Luke and Chongyun are doing for Oreo, which, again, this is a few days old, but I think he was mostly full build here for them. And then Klee, who's not built up. This is an early version of her, but we will show you our completed Klee build, which took us a few days to put together. Like I said, she's hitting for, I think I said early in the video, almost double what she hits for here. I would say, actually, just looking at these numbers, it's actually close to, it's close to triple what she's hitting for here. If we apply Pyro, we're running a Lava Walker set on her right now, and I can go through the setup and the stats we prioritized and how we did it. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about how much stronger we got in just a few days. Alright. Well, there you have it. So that's the whole mining route video. Hopefully this is helpful for you guys, and like I said, I recommend running it, I think, with friends is probably the best option, so that way, you know, these things take 3 days to respawn, and so if you have at least 2 friends, and you can meet people online, right? It's easy to do, Discord, subreddit, and or you can come by our live stream, right? We have people on our live stream playing together. You can see here we were able to collect about 162 crystal chunks off of that run, which is that's pretty good. So, you know, I would definitely see if you can find 2 people to group with, and due to the 3-day respawn time, you could basically stagger your servers, you know, do maybe yours on the first day, you know, a friend's on the 2nd day, and then another friend's on the 3rd day, and then on the 4th day, we go back to yours. And that way you don't have to sit there and, I don't know, do mining for like 3 hours, you know, in a single day. That sounds exhausting. It's much better, I think, to spread it out day after day after day. And if you do this, you know, you should be able to craft the maximum 300,000 XP from the forge every single day. And, you know, if you're crafting weapons, then, you know, you'll have to give a little bit of a sacrifice in terms of, you know, whether you're crafting XP or not. But, or you'll have to do more farming. Maybe you had a 4th run. I don't know. But, yeah, I think that this can be very, very helpful for you. And it's, you know, the most wonderful part about mining and mining routes is you're not restricted by your world level. And what I mean by that is, well, I guess you're still a little restricted. You know, if you're world level 6 and your friends are world level 4, they're not going to, or 5, right? They're not going to be able to join you. But you can go down, right? You can always go down, and the value of these crystals are the same, right? At world level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever, right? They're the same. So you can go ahead and play with anybody and have an opportunity to group with people who are lower than you and still get the same value that you would get if you were on your own higher ranked world server. So I think that's really cool, and it's like the great equalizer of co-op at the moment. So hopefully you run this, you enjoy it. If this video was helpful for you, I'd love it if you subscribe to the channel and come back. We work on a lot of other things, and if it wasn't helpful for you, I apologize for taking up so much of your time. As always, I hope you enjoy playing Genshin Impact, and hopefully I'll see you on the next video or sometime live at twitch.tv/Lionheart. All right, enjoy Genshin Impact, and I'll see you later.